All right. Hey, what's up, everyone? Um, Changing it up today. I don't do videos that often anymore, I know, but this is a busy time of the season for me, usually. But even though I did take the last 2 summers off, I'm getting back into gardening, so I thought I'd jump on here and kind of show off um, some things I'm growing that maybe you guys, whoever of you have a garden or not, might be interested in trying it out because really it's not that hard to grow your own from seeds. Everything in here I planted from seedling, so try to stay away from the store bought and everything. And but yeah, I'm a little bit behind schedule of what I would like to be, probably maybe by about 3 weeks, um, or maybe about 2 weeks at most. But everything so far has been a pretty good success, but you never know until I plant into the ground. I don't do raised beds or anything. But sorry if you hear that, like um it's sprinkling here. So I know you probably have some background noise. But um but yeah, I've never played with the raised bed gardens or anything. Just directly in the dirt. And luckily, um, I get fresh, or not fresh manure, but old aged manure of like lamb and sheep and goats and chicken from my mom out at their property. Um, and I mix it in with my soil and everything. But yeah, so some things that do really well in my region, I'm based in New Mexico, by the Colorado state line. And one thing is okra. It's kind of a taste that not a lot of people have tried okra. That's interesting to me. Whenever I mention what I'm growing, people are like, they either hate it or they love it, but some people haven't even tried it. They do really well in the heat out here. I've grown them for probably 4 years now in the past and never had an issue with the okra. Couple lettuces. I'm thinking about putting those like in pots instead of into the ground this year, but everything's doing well. I got a lot of melons this year, which is pretty exciting. Like honeydew. I think most of you guys know honeydew. That's in the back here, the back floor. And then a couple that you may have not really be familiar with is a native melon here is called cassava. And that's like this one right here. I don't know how I would explain a cassava if you never had it. They're delicious. I would say it's like a mix between a cantaloupe and a honeydew, if you could like hybrid that or something. It's probably the most similar taste I can think of. Winter King and Queen watermelon, which I've only grown once before. I haven't really had too much success just because I think I only had one plant that one year, and I think it was my first year gardening, so I didn't know if I did my best with it or not, but got 3 of them growing. Yeah, but like that's the thing, like you can grow starts because it's always good to have backups, I feel like, because you never know what's going to actually take in your starter trays or however you do it. And then you obviously got to take care of them, but between putting it into the ground, like, and all that, the handling of it, the transplanting, I transplanted into these plastic cups from like starter trays this size. Typically, whenever they're about to outgrow the cups, for me, that's usually whenever they're ready to go into the ground anyways. So I started my starts, majority of everything in here in about the middle of March. So this is where they're at. Another one is the Navajo watermelon. I have 4 of those going right now, and those two are obviously a watermelon, but they they tend to be a little bit smaller, really juicy, like a deep red, and they also have red seeds, which is pretty neat. So they're easily visual of like what kind of melon I'm looking at, like just looking at the seeds. Um, Carrots are doing really well. Of course, yellow squash, we usually do well with yellow squash and zucchini. Got some bunching onions, and just because like we got a lot of peppers, like green chili and jalapeno and different kinds of cherry tomatoes, which yellow pear, definitely one of my favorites, the small yellow cherry tomatoes. But yeah, we like to make our own salsa and all that too. Gotta have some cucumbers, and got a couple different kinds of cucumbers, the pickling style, which I intend to do a lot more pickling this year and I hope just to get it down, because that's another rewarding part of having a garden and growing your own food is being able to preserve it for a longer time and all that. But yeah, I got a couple different cucumbers. Over here, I still have some like just random different flowers growing. I always like to do lamb ears or lamb's ears, however you say it. What do I have over here? Like hummingbird vine. I know that's this one at the end. Like almost the whole row is something. And a couple different kinds of marigolds. Marigolds are just nice to have they help repel bugs and stuff, especially like squash bugs and stuff in the garden, like catnip. So you can tell I got a couple catnips growing. I just planted these like almost 2 weeks ago, so not a whole lot of anything. Maybe it was just last weekend actually, but excited to see how the flowers turn out. Yeah, and then over here, more cucumbers and oh, let's see, these little cantaloupes. I don't know the correct what we call them or anything, but one of my buddies at work, he has a garden usually too, and he gave me one of his small cantaloupes. They were so good. They're just they're probably like average around almost like a softball size, maybe just a little bit bigger, but they're super juicy. So that year when he gave me one of his from his garden, I kept seeds from it, and so I have several of them this year. So that's what I like to do too, is sharing food with everybody and taking things into work. I don't know. Let's see. Oh, I got regular size cantaloupe, and then you can probably tell I have some cilantro. I have a handful of them growing. Spinach, and down here I have all different random types of flowers. I did these probably around the end of March. Yeah. Well, no, probably April actually. I don't really remember when I did these. I have so much going on. I need to start logging things and getting better at that. But I think there's like Shasta daisy, probably more marigolds. I can tell that one is lamb's ear, hummingbird vine. Oh, lavender. I know there's a couple. I think this one's the lavender. Yeah. And then these ones, super stoked about these ones. Just because it's a native grown flower in the area out here in the Southwest. And technically the term is called, the actual name of them is green thread, but out here everyone knows them as Navajo tea. So never grown these before. One of my good friends, she typically gathers Navajo tea for herself out, just out in the boonies, wherever spot she knows. And so she was kind enough and she gave me a bunch of seeds from it, from like where she gathered. It must have been just during that time when a lot of them had dropped. So yeah, super stoked seeing how these will do, just because once I get them strong and healthy, I think these will be cool gifts to give out to my family and stuff, just because a lot of people drink Navajo tea. But yeah, so that's pretty much what I had going on in here. Just kind of felt like doing a video, and it's kind of just an exciting time for me, getting back into it. So but yeah, and then typically, depending on how the weather is this year, it's kind of been cold here lately after it was just like a couple of weeks in a row of really hot days, like almost like 80s and stuff. But usually I like to start putting things into the ground around Memorial Weekend. That's what I've had luck with in the past. So I'll be looking to do that, and I already got the garden tilled, and so probably till it again, maybe. But yeah, so I'll leave it there. You guys have a good one. See ya.